All right. And we're a go. You ready
Looks
for
like it.
this?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. So we got the mic on, Isaac. My name is Dr. Jen. I'm a pharmacist and diabetic educator. I come on here to educate about things like blood sugar, insulin resistance, weight loss, all the things health and wellness. Today, we are talking to Mr. Isaac Wilson, who is
That's
a
me.
coach, a dad, a teacher, probably 100 other things. So, we want
Very
to talk
true.
today about your health journey. And we're going to start out with who you were, let's say, 2, 3 years ago.
Yeah, so I was a head girls basketball coach at Corbin. And if you're talking about 3 years ago, I was your normal, just married, newly married guy. I was 31, and I was living in basketball gyms, gas stations, and all other kinds of places, fast food. For at least half the year, a solid 6 months out of the 12, but I would even say it would probably be more like 7 or 8. Anybody that's a coach understands, whether it be football, basketball, it really doesn't matter. But those two sports in particular, because the seasons and
Mm-hmm.
the preparations for the seasons is so long. Even your off season, you're doing something, but you feel like you're always on the road. You're taking care of a lot of other people and a lot of other families, and in those moments, it's pretty easy to kind of forget to take care of yourself, type thing. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, I was your normal, I guess, American dad. I was eating whenever I wanted to. I was, like I said, a lot of my dinners, especially on game nights, was out of a gas station of some sort or a fast food something before the game started. And um, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I actually looked this up today. I was curious. I had a calendar, and I had it hung up in my classroom. My mom had started this protocol, which she had said she had started this product, and she had started in, I guess it was August, because she was just talking to me about it, and um, she said, I'd really like for you to maybe give it a shot or look into it. And, she's like, I'm giving it a try because my assistant coach is on it. And
Mm-hmm.
so September the 19th of 2024 is when I began. I guess I made a complete 180. I said, okay, I'm going to give this a go. The reason why I knew I needed to change was that summer of 2024, I went to the doctor. I was 32, and I just wanted to try to get what is it, like your usual doctor, right? I'm young, I'm dumb, and I've never really had that main doctor. So it's like, I just need to try to get established. So I went in just for a normal exam of any sort, and
Mm-hmm.
they took my blood pressure at this. Again, there was nothing for me to be nervous about. It was nothing, just like, hey, I'd like to set up a normal doctor. So anyway, they took my blood pressure and they looked at me and they were like, "Is your blood pressure always run this high?" I was like, "I don't know." Are
You're
you
like, what
nervous?
even is my blood pressure, right? You're like,
Yeah, I mean, and they're like, "Are you nervous about being here?" I was like, "Why would I be nervous?" Like, no. And so they're like, "Let me take it again." So they took it again, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was the top number was in the 150s, and the bottom number was in the 100. It was both top and bottom
mm-hmm.
was in triple digits, and so I was like, that kind of means nothing to me. I have no idea. So you're like, well, it's really high. Like, I encourage that you maybe get on some blood pressure medication. So I left. I was like, I don't want to do anything just yet. I want to think about it. So I left, and it
Yeah.
just stuck. It stuck with me, and that was June or July. And then, like I said, a few months later, my mom started in August, I believe. And then, she was talking to me about it, and so it was fast forward 2, 3 months from that doctor's appointment, and I was like, I got to do something. So that was sort of my biggest reason on why, because I didn't want to get on blood pressure medication. I know that was something that
Mm-hmm.
my mom was on, and I want to try to be as off medications as possible if I can throughout my life. So that's sort of why. And then also, I come home every day to a young kid. At that time I had one, and now I have two. But I kind of looked at him as like, if there's anything I can do to stick around and be around this little one as long as I can, uh, that's something I want to do. And I don't think there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people my age that think that way. I always kind of feel like I'm an old soul in some regards, but I kind of want to maximize my time. And so that's another reason that I started. And so here I am today. This September will be 2 years. And I've not looked back since.
I love that. I love that. And you're right. I love the old soul thing because, I mean, I'm 46 and I started thinking about what I was putting in my mouth and what I was doing for exercise at age 43. So I'm a little behind the ball on that. It took me a lot longer to figure it out. So kudos for you on that. And I think you're right with that. I think a lot of people wait until they have their first heart attack, their first stroke, until they're in a serious place where they're on 7 meds, 10 meds, and all of a sudden the doctor's like, "Well, you're type 2 diabetic and blood pressure and cholesterol and fatty liver and all the things before they start caring."
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
There's certain milestone. I'm an athlete. I'm a very short athlete. If you were to see me in person, you wouldn't believe I was an athlete. But I did play basketball in high school and also college. It helped me get my math degree, and that's why what I'm doing right now is teaching. But my freshman year in high school, I was 135 pounds, and when I
Oh,
graduated high school, I was 150 five, and then going into college 60, and then when I was leaving college, I was 170.
we're gonna pull this up real quick here, Isaac.
Yeah,
We're gonna
I,
we're gonna pull up your
I
numbers real quick.
I was, yeah, I'm kind of getting exactly to where I was. So I graduate college, I was 170 as a senior, 22 years old. And then I went into a summer basketball game. So everybody knows me as the point guard, the athlete, all that type of stuff. And
Hmm.
someone looked at me and they were like, "Wilson, you putting on a little weight, ain't you?" And to be honest with you, up until that moment, like health, weight, all that stuff was something I'd never even thought of. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 5'8" with shoes on. And so when they said that, I kind of got to thinking, I was like, man, he must, I must look a lot different. So anyway, yeah, that picture proves a lot of people don't believe it, but and that was 2018. I'm pretty sure I was on a road trip out west. I was 192.
Hmm.
The biggest number I've saw personally on a scale is 197. Again, nobody believes that. I thank the Lord for that picture you just shown. Uh,
Yeah.
but it was getting out of hand. Like I said, I was trending in the wrong direction. I think a lot of people, as you just mentioned, they continue to trend in that wrong direction until something bad happens or a doctor says,
Yeah.
look, there's nothing else. You got to change something. So the only difference is that I made a decision, I guess, myself before I got there. And I sort of just shared the reasons of why. I've just, my kids and other things. And obviously the doctor telling me I had a high blood pressure. I could have continued living that way. And who
Yeah.
knows, which, with the energy drinks and things like that going on, I mean, you're seeing below 40 and 40-year-olds have dropping down, having heart attacks and stuff currently. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh
all
yeah.
in my mind. And um, so anyway, I don't know. That was my reasons on why I chose to do it. Other people, it's because they're over 300 pounds or they're on 10 types of medications or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And so I guess I was pretty preventative as far as that comes because I know big bad stuff happened, but I don't
Hmm.
know where I'd have been right now. I mean, if you think about it, too, I made that decision almost 2 years ago. So where would I have been right now? I mean, I probably would have been pushing over 200 pounds, still drinking my Mountain Dews and sugar, sugar, sugar. And so
So I'm gonna pull up another picture of you. This is a photo that you posted yourself, sir. So I just stole it off your Facebook page. But
it's
this is
right
you,
here.
obviously, at pushing that 200 pounds and enjoying food,
Yeah,
right? Enjoying food.
that's the heart attack grill actually, and I was just told by a comment on Facebook that it's no longer there. But if you've never been to Las Vegas, that's Fremont Street. I have actually zip lined and everything else there, but
Yeah.
um, that was a pretty cool little restaurant, and they had a little weird ending if you didn't eat all your food that I guess I could talk about another time. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was a fun experience. But like you said, I love some food now, and
Yeah.
and I still do. That's kind of the thing that I think when I try to share this stuff with other people now, I think that's where they get all twisted. They want to think that it's a diet. They want to think that you got to watch this or watch that. And I'm like,
Hmm.
you're probably ultimately going to get there one day. But as far as day one or day 10 or what, like I still don't view it as a diet. I still enjoy foods that anybody else would enjoy. It's just the process in which how I go about it is so much different than what I used to do
Exactly.
prior to 2 years ago. And then obviously the tools that help me with that. So, which is why I'm here. Like I said, currently I got on the scale this morning. I'm 172. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
based on your picture, I've lost 20 pounds since 2018. But when I started the protocol, I was actually 192, which is exact same. Or sorry, I was 189. I wrote it on that calendar. I was 189
Mm-hmm.
when I started on September the 19th of 2024. And so 17 pounds, I guess, what you could say, which is perfect for me. I think I'm still a little on the high of the BMI thing, but man, I feel great. 170, I don't know if it would even look right on me, but I like the way I feel and look. I think it's a good weight, and it's the weight I graduated with in college. So when I was honestly probably the best shape of my life because I was playing college
Mm-hmm.
basketball. So um, anyway, that's my
I
story.
think a goal for anybody would be their college weight.
Oh yeah.
Goodness, right?
Well, mine is not everybody, because some people get put on that freshman 15, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's true. Hey, I did that myself. I remember indulging in the pizza and the beer and doing all the things that we weren't
Yeah.
supposed to do as a freshman. Mom, I hope you're not listening right now, but the things that we were doing that we shouldn't have been doing. And now that we're older, we're paying more attention to what we're putting in our mouths. So my biggest question for you is when you got to a point where your high blood pressure was high and you were pushing back and forth at close to 200 pounds,
Yep.
what made you choose this? Like, what made you go down the rabbit hole of getting on the tea and fiber protocol that I come on here and you come on social media to talk about all the time? I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can hit the gym like a maniac. You can do Weight Watchers. You can give an injection. I mean, did you try any of those things, or was that just this was just it? You saw Larry having amazing results. You saw your mom having amazing results, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll just jump on the bandwagon and try it out.
Sort of, as you just mentioned, there's all kinds of things that
Yeah, there's so much.
is out there. Number
Yeah.
one, some of that stuff that you just mentioned, I see it on commercials all the time. And there, I won't say names, but there's fine print down at the bottom, and then there's this guy that comes on that talks really, really fast. It's like, and side effects would be blah, 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 and they just fly through it. And then if you can catch
Yeah.
on some of them words, it'll be like blindness. I mean, it's some of the craziest things you've ever heard. So number one,
Exactly.
I was trying none of that stuff with those possible side effects.
Good for you.
Um, but the main thing is, and I think the thing that makes you most comfortable is when you personally know people and you know that it's worked for them, like that personal connection of like, okay,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is not just some random, like I'm not just throwing my money to anything. Like
So true.
Connie and Larry obviously was a big one. Connie was helping me coach at the time, so I got to see. I was working very close with her, and to be honest with you, so she started this. I had no idea that she started, but she started in the spring ish, and our season had just ended. And again,
Mm-hmm.
Connie was what she was to my eyes, and that was March. And so we have summer basketball that starts in June, and so fast forward 2 to 3 months later, I see her again in the gym. I'm like, Coach, what you
What?
do? And she shows me, I'm like, man, you're
Yeah.
looking good. And she tells me how much weight she lost on this. And so I called my mom actually in June. I was like, have
Mm-hmm.
you seen Coach Snyder? And she's like, no. And so anyway, those conversations I think is what made my mother pick it up in August. Well, then, I don't see Coach Snyder from June up until like early September. I see her
Okay.
again and I'm like, holy cow.
She
I mean,
melted. Her and
melt,
Larry
listen,
melted.
melted. And then,
Both of them. 100 pounds in a year. I mean, that's melting.
and now it's to probably 20 plus, and knowing
Yeah.
that Larry, okay, so a few things. Larry was a heart transplant survivor. If you know anything about just that alone, there's so
Yep.
many restrictions. Maybe you can't stay in hotel rooms. He, can't touch fit. I mean, there's so many things because you don't want your heart to be rejected by your body or your body to reject your heart. Then he develops polycythemia. Doctors tell him that it's not gonna, there's nothing you can do, can't be reversed. Well, then
Yep.
all of a sudden, voila, it's reversed. And so I see Connie, as you just said, melting away. And she's like, this is all I'm doing. And then my mom began it. And then it's like, I got to I mean, what am I going to lose? And I know back then they talked about the 90-day money back guarantee, which is still the same thing now with a few
Mm-hmm.
exceptions. But like I didn't care about that. It's like, okay, I want to give this a go because if it's going to help,
Yeah.
then it's going to help me. So, um, I just listened to what Connie and Larry did. Why would I not? With the success they was having,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
I just looked at again right before coming on here. and I can pull it up again. But on September the 19th, I was 189. And 10 days later, I had lost like 3.5 pounds or something, which again, that's a lot given the body weight I started at. I now know of people that have lost double digit weight with ease in a week. 7 to 10 days, they've lost
Oh,
double
it's crazy, right?
pounds, again, depending on where they start. But my connection, my personal connection with people close to me that had success and I trusted was the biggest thing that I said, I'll give this a shot. And, honestly, it's the only thing I needed to give a shot. I'm glad it's the only thing I gave a shot. So many times we're reaching and grabbing for the next newest thing or this and that. And
Exactly.
I'll also say this. I think it's our nature to be toe dippers. We we're so set in our ways, and I've thought about this raising kids now. Like I understand why we're set in our ways because we're taught from a young age. I mean, right now, what I'm doing with my son, he eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like it makes sense. You work on this for 20 plus years of
Yep.
getting this habit, and then all of a sudden you're gonna change that habit, and it's like, nah, I think I'm gonna dip my toe in the
I'm
water.
just gonna stick with it. Yep.
And that's the people I feel like that end up giving it up or saying, well, it don't work for me. And it's just, if you really want change, and if you're at that point, um,
Hmm.
you got to give it a shot. Like I said, and you can maybe talk more about the difference in the 90-day money back
Yeah.
in the app, but there's 90 days that you literally will lose nothing. Just keep track your stuff on the app, and you're still good. But um, yeah, why
It's
not?
crazy, right?
It
It's
is.
crazy, right? Yeah. And that's why we come on here because we want to help educate people. We want people to understand how simple this is. And I'm going to go into a little mini presentation to guys tell you a little bit about the system that we're talking about because
See it.
we're talking about what this is called. Is this is called the Feel Great system. And so I'm going to go into just a little bit, just a 10 minutes. If you guys can just give me a few minutes of your attention, I'm going to go through some slides, show you just a little bit of information. I'm not going to waste your time. Give me a few minutes. And then me and Isaac will open up the chat. If you guys got questions, you can throw them in the chat now. You can throw them right in the comments, and we'll open up the chat, answer your questions. If you have questions for Isaac, if you have questions for me about why is a pharmacist on here talking about supplements. People find some supplements so silly anymore these days. So we're going to get right into it. All right. So here today we are talking about the Feel Great system. And here we go. So most people today are living with low energy, weight gain, and declining health. Do you not agree? The
Yep.
real culprit here is insulin resistance. And some people have never even heard this term. It happens because of a high carb diet leading into insulin constantly being released from the pancreas. That constant release causes the cells, every cell literally of your muscle, of your pancreas, every cell in your body to become resistant to that insulin over time. The body then gets stuck in sugar storage, fat storage mode, constantly storing, constantly adding instead of being able to subtract and let you release that sugar and fat. This leads to you feeling tired and hungry literally 24/7. I know I felt that way. I'm sure you have too, Isaac. And then it just leads you into more high carb diet because we're tired. So we binge on the energy drinks and the caffeine, and we're tired. So we eat food to make us stay awake. And then we just get stuck in this cycle that just leads to more and more insulin resistance. So here are some of the signs of insulin resistance. I don't know if there's anyone here who has some of these signs. I had plenty of them. Hair loss, skin pigmentation, low blood sugar, cravings. I had the cravings. I also had I had the hypo and hyperglycemia because my blood sugar was like this from all the sugar I ate all day long, being tired after the meals, holding on to excess belly fat. I was holding on to an extra 30 pounds, which as a small little person, okay, I'm 5'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, at 5'3", an extra 30 pounds is a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight. It affected my blood pressure and affected my gut. Adult acne, guys, sign of insulin resistance, constant migraines, hair loss, and the list goes on and on. I mean, how many of you have at least one of these? So, doctors, big pharma, they're not really fixing the root cause. They're throwing meds at you all day long, right? The truth is today 93% of people show signs of poor metabolic health. Now, poor metabolic health is shown by high blood sugar, high waist circumference, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, that's your good cholesterol, and high blood pressure. So, 93% of Americans, statistically speaking, here in the US, have one or more of those things. one or more. Are you one of them? I was. I know I was. Isaac, you were. We just
Yeah, I
talked about it,
was.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was.
absolutely. Yeah. So that means only 6.8% of adults have optimal cardiometabolic health. That's scary. So many people don't know about it either. Over 50% of Americans are pre diabetic or diabetic, and the rates keep going up. We're throwing meds at it all day long. We got workout gurus online all day long trying to sell you stuff. And guess what? The numbers just keep going up. Something's not working, right? Something's not working. So, and even with the thousands of the coaching programs and the health experts all around the world, we're just sicker than we've ever been. And that's why we have the tea and fiber protocol, also known as the Feel Great system, that we talk about here on social media. It's two simple food based products backed by decades of science. The products have been proven in more than 20 clinical studies in major universities like Columbia, UNLV, Cleveland Clinic, and the University of Sydney, to name a few. They're natural, safe, and free from side effects. And most importantly, instead of just masking the symptoms, instead of just being a pill, potion, or lotion, they actually target the root cause of your problem, which is insulin resistance. And it does this by helping the body support a healthy insulin response. Here's how it works. So, without using the system, most meals today cause an insulin and glucose spike, sending you on that roller coaster, leading to fat storage, cravings, and long term damage to every organ of your body. With the system, your insulin and glucose stays under control naturally. It keeps it as a baseline, keeps it lower and slower moving into the body, meaning you keep in burning more fat for fuel. You have fewer cravings and you have steady energy all day long. The first product is our beautiful Unimate. Okay. It's our favorite. You see me and Isaac both sipping on it right now. A
Yep.
purified and concentrated extract of yerba mate. It actually has 20 times more chlorogenic acid as a fat burner than any other yerba mate on the market. This is not the stuff you get in a can at the gas station, guys. It's naturally flavored, zero sugar added, natural caffeine here, vegan friendly, kosher, halal, all the good stuff. You take it in the morning to calm hunger and keep a clear, focused mind. It boosts energy without any artificial caffeine. It's all natural, and it helps the body increase its own GLP naturally by up to 60%, according to studies we have against water fasting alone. And it helps increase that GLP-1 hormone. GLP, you hear about it all day long, right, guys? It's that gut hormone that helps control cravings, keeps you fuller longer, and keeps healthy glucose control. It is key for fat loss. Millions are injecting GLP drugs and that mimic this pathway. Millions. And that can cause serious and potentially irreversible side effects. And you guys hear about the lawsuits all the time. Billions, B with a B,
Yep.
billions of dollars in lawsuits. And yes, when you see the commercials, exactly like you said, Isaac, there's a lot of small words at the bottom. The
Yes, there is.
osteoporosis, the eating the muscle mass, eating the bones, the vision issues, the pancreatitis, and the list goes on and on and on. So instead, we take a food first approach that supports the same pathway from within. Then we pair our beautiful Unimate tea with our balanced fiber. It's an advanced fiber nutrient blend, also naturally flavored, naturally sweetened, gluten free, vegan, kosher, halal, all the things. And you take it before meals to slow the glucose absorption by up to 43%. 43% lower glucose response for a diabetic. This is game changer. But the truth is I firmly believe that we are all suffering from the same food epidemic. And whether you're diabetic or you're not, you need to eat like a diabetic or you're going to become diabetic, period and point blank, because that's what the modern food environment is providing us. So this is a game changer for everyone. The result is no bloating, no sleepiness, no sugar cravings after your meals. You're drinking it right before your meal. And it also supports healthy cholesterol, increases the HDL, lowers the LDL, healthy triglyceride numbers, and cardiovascular function. This makes it the perfect solution for surviving today's modern food environment. Without the diet, without a meal plan, without counting your calories, does the magic for you. These products are backed by real science, third party validated. In fact, the study was done at the number one heart hospital, Cleveland Clinic, and it showed that such a product, if taken regularly, can reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis. It's also both of these are listed in the prescriber's digital reference, which is the gold standard reference books for pharmaceutical. Oh, and I got balloons for pharmaceutical drugs. I didn't even know how to do that. And we're the only company in the world with two natural products listed that directly address insulin resistance, guys. We're the only one. That means the system is not just another supplement. It's proven, it's credible, and it's recognized at the highest level of healthcare. And all of these benefits for less than $6 a day. And if you're
Yep.
somebody who drinks the energy drinks, the Gatorades, right? The Mountain Don'ts, as I like to call them now. I know it used to be Mountain Dew for you, Isaac, but I call them the Mountain Don'ts. The Chippies. Guys, bag of chips and a drink is $6 nowadays. Have
Yep.
you noticed? Have you noticed? And if you're stopping at the gas station doing that multiple times a day, this is a game changer because you're going to cut all that stuff out. It helps you cut those unnecessary calories and the impulsive snacking, and it's a net positive effect. So for so many, it offsets its own costs and even leads to savings. I remember a conversation I had with Larry when he first got started with this. He was saving hundreds in it was like over $500 a month, snacks, copays, all that stuff. It's crazy. For some people, this is game changing for their budget. And all of these products come with a 90-day money back guarantee. How many things give you a 90-day money back guarantee? How many things out there in this world can you use for 90 days and take it back? And not
Not
even take it
many.
back because you're going to consume it for 90 days. So you're not even turning anything in at the end of that 90 days. It's rarity. So that means there's literally zero risk for you to try it. And the product even offers an A1C guarantee for people using the system consistently, right? If you use it, it comes with this beautiful free app. You just have click 3 buttons a day. You do that half the time, you got that guarantee. So think about that for a minute. There is not a single pharmaceutical company on the planet that will give you a money back guarantee if the drug doesn't work. Trust me, I'm a pharmacist, been one for 20 years. People come in all day long, they take a round of antibiotics that cost them $400. And they say, hey, Jen, it didn't work. I'm still sick. Still going in for another round of antibiotics. I want my money back. Not how it works. It is not how the pharmaceutical companies work at all. Not how the pharmacy works. So these products are helping people, real people, with life changing results. So I want to show you guys my friend Steven, full blown type 2 diabetic, had blood sugar in the 2 and 300s, waist 42, shirt 2XL, was on 4 prescriptions, was a hot mess. Now, blood sugar average is 92, waist down, shirt size down, high energy, fasting now, like a pro, because we can do some time based eating with this. That's the magic in it. You drink this tea first thing in the morning, it cuts the craving so much you skip breakfast. Guys, you can push right into
Listen,
lunch.
that picture on the left. I mean, that you asked me
There's
earlier.
Larry and Connie.
Wow, if that Larry and Connie picture don't
That's
get you,
Larry and
I'm
Connie
telling
before and after. Down over 200 pounds as a couple. They did the 200 pounds in a year and they've kept going since then. Larry no longer has polycythemia, needs to get those blood draws. His energy is just absolutely incredible. Marcus is on here. Over the road truck driver, lost over 100 pounds just sitting in a truck. Drinking the tea for breakfast, another tea in the afternoon,
you. Yep.
fiber before meals with carbs. Boom. Blood pressure problems gone, pre-diabetes problems gone. I mean, it's incredible to me. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw myself out there. So whether you want to be somebody who is sedentary and doesn't hit the gym or you want to hit the gym. I get people all the time that reach out to me and they say, fasting. I can't do fasting. I'm a gym junkie. Yeah, I like the gym too. Mike likes the gym too. We've been able to get rid of fat mass and increase muscle mass doing the system. So if you think, hey, I don't want to lose any muscle, guys, this isn't Zempi. You're not going to lose muscle on this. Okay? You can do fasting and not lose the good stuff. And now thousands of lives have been changed, literally thousands. And so you're talking to two of them right here. My own personal results is I've lost 30 pounds. I'm no longer on blood pressure medication. I was on 2 blood pressure medications for over 15 years. I was on omeprazole for over 20 years, off all of it. I was struggling with my hormones. I was in early perimenopause and I was a hot mess. Period for 2 weeks straight and then not again for 2 months. All of that is regulated and normal now. I sleep through the night, energy for days, run in circles around my kids who are younger and still enjoy some chips from time to time. And I'm like, get it out of here. Get the mountain, no mountain don't allowed in this house.
Mountain
So
don't.
I do. I do my lives in the morning holding up my Mountain Don't. I got it written right on the side of the Mountain Don't because I was getting in trouble. I'm always in trouble with social media using the brand names. Mountain Don't.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
They don't want to hear the bad stuff about them, do they?
No, they don't. No, they don't. So I wanted to end up this little live, and I can pull some comments on here, see if we got some comments from anybody. If we have any questions, do we have any questions for anybody on here? If we do, we can kind of shuffle through those. All right. Let's see. Oh, well, looks like that's all we don't even have any questions on here, so we don't have questions on here, which is fine. If you guys have questions, throw them at me or Isaac. Um, but I
You know,
just wanted.
something that your presentation just said, because it'll give them maybe time if they did have a question, they could put it in there.
Mhm.
Two things. Number one, you was talking about the shot. I actually just had a conversation this week. An old official. I've now changed regions, but they call me. It's off season and stuff, and they've been on the fence the whole time. And one thing that they said is, they started the shot and it was being successful, and then it changed. I don't understand. I never did it, but this now all of a sudden now they changed it to this one, and then they changed it to this one. Well, all of a sudden now this one's not uh, backed by their insurance, whatever. So now they're going to have to pay like $1,100 out of pocket, but
Ouch.
when they start switching it, all of a sudden your body acts different, and you get more, sicker on one than you did the other. And he's like, I really love the first one, but I can't get the first one anymore. So anyway, long story short is, I think they go that route because there's a there's an easy way to it. Like it's like, oh, I just go get a shot and things will be work out. But
Yeah.
when that, number one, as you just mentioned, the side effects of what's really going on internally, number one, because it's not natural, it's, synthetic. But part two to that would be what happens when the insurance don't keep supporting you for the easy thing.
Exactly.
And I told him, I said, at the end of the day, 169.14, you multiply that by 12, you're spending all just over what you just said. What he told me was one shot a month, $1,100 or something crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna spend just a little bit over that for the year. So anyway,
And with the injections, because you're not making a food change, you're not making a lifestyle change. And a lot of times I see people coming into the pharmacy to pick up their injections with a
mhm,
basket with the soda and the chips and all the junk in it. Okay, so
yeah.
they're still eating the garbage. Guess what happens the second you stop using it? The
Oh yeah,
weight goes right back up.
you're
The
gonna
weight
gain it
goes
back.
right back up.
And the flip side of that is I actually know somebody that trusted. Again, it goes back to trust, but they was connected with my mom, who was on the shot, had success with it, but felt sicker than a dog always, but was doing it just to lose weight. That was like the main goal. They didn't even care that they were sick, and when they did eat, they was like throwing up. I mean, of
Yeah,
course you're losing weight. But they got off the shot and they couldn't believe they continued to lose weight on the protocol, but they felt awesome, and they were like, what have I been doing? And
exactly.
that's
Exactly.
another
I've
testimony
had
I know
I've
we've
had a
had.
lot of those people actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Larry's asking, what was your biggest non-scale victory since using this?
Well, non-scale victory is I can tell a huge difference in, like you said, like I already said, blood pressure. That I accepted a new job actually, and
Congratulations.
I had to get a physical, and I got that physical 2 weeks ago. Went to the doctor. It was almost the exact same visit I had 2 years ago. Like I'm going in, it's nothing serious. There's no reason to be nervous, as they said, like the white coat syndrome. She was asking
Yeah,
that if
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why my
yeah.
blood pressure so high. Walked in, she's like, "Oh, I gotta take your blood pressure." It's like toward the end of I just had to get a simple physical. She took it. It was 110/78, and
Holy cats.
I
Did you
looked at
about
her.
fall out of your chairs? You were
Well,
like,
no, I just looked at her and smiled, and it actually made me. I actually shared the product with her, and it's funny that I now remember this because she brought up that she's on the shot and has lost 60 pounds. But anyway, yeah, I said that was so much different 2 years ago. I said last time a doctor checked my blood pressure, it was 150 over a triple digit number.
yeah,
So anyway, I shared the product with her just a little bit, but yeah, that's probably, I won't say my biggest. I mean, that's one of, because again, that's sort of what made me start it. That scare of like, oh,
yeah,
I'm headed in the wrong path, and then to see that, reap those benefits and see that just as recently as 3 weeks ago was pretty cool. I feel so much better. Again, I actually can't believe how much better and how much more energy I had. I had a season of without it to compare with a season with the product, and
mm-hmm,
like it was night and day. I mean, I was running on fumes. The season without it, prior to
Yeah.
beginning it, my wife, even my mom, was like, in January, that's the kind of the time you hit a wall in basketball season. They're like, son, you look rough, and I was feeling rough. I mean, I was driving an hour one way to work, trying to win basketball games, put in a full day of teaching math, and I was burning the candle from both ends. And then the very next year, I'm still burning the candle from both ends. I'm still doing the exact same stuff, but the way I felt it, the way I looked at the same time a year later, that you could tell a huge difference. And the people close to me, again, you don't really get
Yeah.
as close to a coach as maybe some think, but the ones in my inner circle saw a huge difference from one season to the other.
Oh, yeah. The people closest to you, they
Oh
really
yeah,
notice. And then the people that you don't see for 6 months at a time. That's the other
yeah,
group of people who look at your face and
uh-huh.
they look at your body. So I didn't show this, so I'll show this real quick. So this is technically your before and after.
And a lot of people will say, I'm that on the right, I'm not sucking in at all. I'm just setting up with a good posture. But that's a huge difference. I was scrolling through my phone and saw that, and obviously the picture on the left's the one I saw, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, we got to recreate this. So I actually had my wife I had my wife take the one on the right. I don't know the difference in months there, but it's a
Yeah.
huge difference visually.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your face shape completely
Well, funny,
changed.
what
And
look
that's
what
one
I'm
thing we
doing.
often see.
Look what I'm doing on the left too. I'm eating
Eating,
something.
eating something,
It's
putting something in your mouth, of course.
pitch black dark on the back
Yep.
porch. I'm eating something,
Yep. Of
So
course. And of course. And so that's what typically what do we do as Americans?
yeah,
Every time we turn on the TV, every time we were looking for entertainment, or every time we're driving somewhere in the car. So I can only imagine that hour commute, you're probably eating something, drinking something. I mean, that's what we do, right? So this has really drastically changed your lifestyle in the best possible ways
yes.
and slowly over time. So before we get off here, is there anything that you would like to say to someone who's kind of been looking at this whole tea and fiber thing and they're like, okay, I've tried 20 different supplements, nothing ever works, nothing does anything. Why is this going to work? Why should I even try this? Any little word of encouragement or,
The biggest thing with that is I'm going to go back to something Marcus said, and I don't think I believe that I felt this way, but I never viewed it this way in words.
yeah,
Which I interviewed Marcus, and his biggest thing was, you know, a lot of people say, "Well, what if it don't work?" And that's sort of like the whole we're full of what ifs and all that stuff, and we always want to think about the negative side of things. So, like, what if it don't work? And he mentioned he's like, what if it does work? And I think that was something that made him begin the product, because he was, again, as you mentioned, a truck
yeah,
driver, and he needed to make changes. And instead of thinking about what if it don't work, he did what if it does work. And all of a sudden it did work for him. And he's like, you know, awesome, thank the Lord. And why not start? I mean,
yeah.
I understand we all have an expiration date, and I do understand that, but I also believe that it's our duty, and we have the free choice to do with our time as needed. And why don't we try to be the healthiest during that time as possible? And
Well, yeah,
I, d-
exactly.
I
For me, as someone who's looking at, I mean, I'm going to be having grandkids soon. I mean, you got little babies at home,
mhm,
but I'm
yeah.
I'm on the next stage of looking at having grandchildren coming in the next couple of years, and all I can think of is, once I do have grandkids running around, do I want to be in a nursing home?
Well, so you bring that up. My mom is 63, I believe. I hope I didn't
Mm-hmm.
overshoot that. She's close. She's 60. She's in that area. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have this like inflatable slide,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a pool, but you can slide down and stuff. And last summer, like she's in her 60s, and she's like acting like a kid with my kids, and she's grandma, and she's like on it.
Chasing them.
She's going down the slide, and she's just having a good old time. And I'm like, how many are even feel feel up to doing something like that with a
Oh, have
two
the energy.
vent?
Have the
Yeah, with
energy.
like, oh, she's touched.
62, you are in big trouble, sir.
It's
That's
coming.
double
This is
gifts
this
for
is
the
the
next
year.
birthday.
This is the
Double
year. It'll be.
gifts. I called it, Sandy. It's coming. We put it
This is
out
the
there.
year of 63. But
Yeah.
yeah, she actually drove to Somerset, played with them all day. Like, she's so active, and I want to be active. Like, I mean, I'm a guy that I
Yeah.
play pickleball, I play golf, and like I see so many people that as they get older, they start losing the freedom and they start losing things that maybe they used to always do, and it all just goes back to health. So my
Yeah.
biggest thing is like, what if it does work? If you have any inkling at all inside of like, you know, I would really like to make a change, or I'd really like to have this back, or I'm on a ton of medications. Instead of thinking, what if it
Yeah.
don't work? I mean, what if it does work? And then knowing, as you just
Exactly.
mentioned, the 90-day money back guarantee, like you literally have nothing to lose. And I actually did not know until you just said it that they just have to get a 50% on the app to,
Yeah. On the
to
app,
qualify.
we
Like
give you
you
this
have to
free
fail
app
class.
and you go
You
click, click, click. And if you forget, you can go back one whole day and just keep going click, click,
listen,
click.
you can
Like
fail
it's
class.
crazy.
Yeah, so you can fail class. Like I'm a teacher, so like if I were to you come in my class and say, you know what, guys, you all can fail every exam that I give this year. And if you do, you get an A. Like that's ultimately sort of what you just said. Like if you fail on the app and do it 50% of the time, because that's an F in class,
Yep.
you should still get your money back. So you definitely can do that. I've got mine. You just mentioned it. I have a
Well,
streak. Let's see. The streak is 235 on mine up there.
235 days. So
235 day streak.
it's not that hard if you've been doing it for
Yeah.
235 days in a row.
Well,
But
well, that's with the apps. That was
yeah.
prior to them coming out with that. I've done it longer
Yeah.
than that, but I have updated to my last 235 days religiously. Yes.
That's awesome. And to piggyback on what you were saying, it's important for everybody to understand on here. Your future doctor is going through school right now answering test questions using ChatGPT. So, this is the season in which you want to learn how to stay healthy. That's all I'm saying. I'm just going to put it right there. Let's be honest, guys. Healthcare is not what it used to be. It's not. Your
You
doctors
know,
get paid more the sicker you are. The more times you come into the office, the more they get paid, not the opposite.
I'm not going to
So,
say that this makes me mad, but it sort of does. The To know that Larry was looked at by a doctor, and that doctor looked him dead in the face and told him that there was nothing he could do to reverse his
he'll
polycythemia.
have polycythemia
If
for the rest of his
rest of
life.
yes, the rest of your life,
Yep.
and knowing that there was one doctor that said that, there's many more that. But
Correct.
Larry,
Right.
I'm not going to say that Larry was going to accept that because obviously he didn't. But all it took was Larry to see a comment on a live that just like this that said this system completely reversed my polycythemia to make him go. I guarantee it. That man traveling and getting the blood drawn, all that stuff. That man didn't even care if it didn't work. He was willing and able to try anything that might work.
Yeah.
So he was back in that what if it does work mindset.
Yeah.
He tries it and it did work. But to know, like what you just said, the doctor told him he would live the rest of his life with it. You can accept that or not accept it. And Larry
Yeah.
didn't accept it, and Larry don't have polycythemia anymore. And so, you know, I don't know. That one again makes me mad deep down, sort of thinking about it, because they do
Yeah.
make money. They do make money off of us. Let's be honest. The more
Yeah.
medications I buy, or the more times I go see a doctor, the copays and all that stuff, you're
And it's
making
not
money
even
off.
their fault. These are highly educated people, but that's
Yeah,
how the
no,
system's set up. Like they're working in, that's their job.
learning in books. Learning in
Yeah.
books, and and,
Yeah.
and I don't think I wasn't a what you go through school and you don't really know what you're getting into till you get in and get your hands dirty. But I guarantee it, if we could go ask that same doctor that told him that 2 years ago,
Yeah.
what he believes now, I bet his beliefs changed due to experience of now being in the. He now
Yeah.
knows that you
Yeah.
can reverse.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's just wild. So we've seen some amazing results and we've got a million stories. So we're going to keep coming on here and we're going to keep sharing them. That's
Yeah,
what we're
I
going to do.
mean,
That's the
it
goal
changes.
here, is to help people understand that the chronic disease states there are, you do not have to live in constant symptoms. You do not have to live with all of these constant problems. A lot of the symptoms of so many disease states can go away. Type 2 diabetes can be put in remission, and so can polycythemia because we've seen it happen right before our eyes and
Yeah,
actually in a very short amount of time. So, if Isaac invited you onto this platform to watch this, please reach out to him today and chit chat with him about your health and what direction it's going in and how he can help you skyrocket in the right direction. Okay, whether you're talking about blood sugar, cholesterol, you like skin tags, weight issues, energy issues, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, it doesn't matter. Even if it's the ladies, reach out to Isaac, have the conversation. And for my friends on here, if you're watching this, sharing this, and someone invited you to this, please reach out to them today and have the conversation, because like we said, 90 days, your life could look very different and be trending in the right direction. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Isaac.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
joining
me.
us. Yeah,
Not a
this has
problem.
been great.
I like talking about it. It's changed my life.
Yeah,
And it's changed a lot around me. And the biggest thing is when you see me continue to do it. It's funny. One of my middle school boys just they thought they see my this glass bottle,
yeah.
and we've had summer games and stuff, and they keep seeing me with this bottle, and they actually thought that they were like, "What is that drink?" They thought I was buying it from like a gas station or something. Like I would finish one, I'd go refill my bottle, and then they'd see me with another one. I was like, "How many do you think he buys of those?" And so one of the kids walked up to me and was like, "Coach, what are you drinking there? Like, how many did you buy?" And I was like, "Guys, this is just a water bottle." And so
It's
anyway,
hysterical. That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Hey, you're helping. You're teaching the next generation too as a teacher, right?
I am,
You're
I
helping the
am,
youth see that, and then hey, show them pictures. That
yeah,
197 is a spicy picture. Show
it
up with
is.
that once in a while and say, hey, this is where I was, and this is where you can be. You got to watch what you eat. You got to eat healthy, guys. Even the youth, right?
I can tell a huge difference in my face. Again, people around me
Yeah,
too, that my face is so much different with the weight
it's
that I've
crazy.
lost. It
It's
is.
crazy. And now Isaac and myself, we are on a muscle gaining journey, which will continue for the next few years. I'm super excited about it. Let's go, let's go. Right? Maybe
Yep.
that'll be our next. Maybe that'll be our next live together.
Stronghold is on the way. So
Stronghold
Mike,
for the win.
Mike, Mike, what's the
Yep.
word I'm looking for? Fired me up about just
Let's
implementing that.
go.
So we'll see
Yep.
what happens.
Yep. I can't wait to hear more about it. So we'll have you back when you have some results to chat about that. Thank you
Yep.
for joining us tonight, everybody. Everybody have a wonderful night and reach out and ask questions. Thank you for joining us.
See you, Jim.